Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, where I try and find the silver linings in even the worst of films. James Gunn, a week or so ago, announced that Superman is in fact getting a sequel, and it's coming out in the summer of 2027. And he said it's not necessarily a sequel as much as it's just another story in the Superman family saga. So a lot of people just assumed it's not really a Superman 2, it's probably a team-up movie of Superman and Supergirl. Me being one of those people that thought that, because it just makes sense. We're getting a Supergirl movie. They are very closely connected, so why not have them both team up for a movie? Well, a couple days ago on the Howard Stern show, James Gunn actually revealed that it's a Superman and Lex Luthor movie, and that it's them teaming up to take on a much bigger threat. And I kind of find that fascinating because it's kind of the same direction that Zack Snyder took Batman versus Superman in, but he's flip-flopping it. Essentially in Batman versus Superman, they start out as enemies. Batman, sees the destruction of Gotham City, or Metropolis, if you will, and he sees it with Superman fighting General Zod, destroying these cities. So of course Batman's going to think Superman is a bad guy that needs to be stopped, otherwise he's going to destroy the planet. So the movie starts off with them as enemies. Batman wants to kill him. They fight. Batman beats the brakes off of him, rightfully so, because Batman would. He's just that awesome. And then they realize that Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg, releases Doomsday, who is a much greater threat than Superman, which shows Batman that Superman's not actually the enemy Lex Luthor is, and he tricked them into thinking they were enemies, and then they team up. So it starts off with them fighting, and then it ends with them teaming up against the greater good. What I think is going to happen in the new Man of Tomorrow movie, which is a play on words because you could consider Lex Luthor the Man of Tomorrow or Superman, and I know in the comics it's another moniker for Superman, Man of Tomorrow, but I think it plays for both characters here, especially if they're both going to be the main character, where I think this movie's actually going to start from a place where there's this giant galactic threat, and Lex Luthor is going to look at it like, I hate Superman. Because essentially Lex Luthor, before Superman came around, was the most popular man on the world. Everyone loved him and looked to him for the protection of alien creatures and foreigners that are coming to try and invade our lands. And then here comes this guy that's wearing this bright blue costume with red trunks, a nice haircut, and a nice smile, and everyone suddenly doesn't love Lex anymore, and they all love Superman. And he's just so jealous and filled with rage because he's no longer the person that everyone loves anymore, that he hates Superman. And he also thinks Superman is trying to destroy the planet. Now, the reason why I think he would team up with Superman is because if there's a much bigger threat than Superman, Lex Luthor may be an asshole, he may be a villain, and he may want to kill Superman, but he doesn't want the Earth to get destroyed. He wants to essentially rule over the Earth. So he'd be damned if he lets some alien creature come and destroy the planet. And in his eyes, he's probably looking at it like, well, at least Superman's trying to be good. I don't buy it, and I'm going to kill him eventually, but I could use this to my advantage and fight alongside him to defeat this threat, because I'd be better off fighting this threat with Superman. And then once we defeat it, then I'll just turn on Superman and try and take him out as well, once I don't have to worry about the other threat anymore. And I think it makes for a really great moment of like that heel turn that breaks your heart, because they go through this whole movie fighting side by side and defeating this monster that comes and tries to destroy the world, all for Lex to turn at the end and try and kill Superman. And then it's that emotional moment where they now have to battle, and Superman's not going to want to battle him because he's like, dude, we just protected the planet together. Like, I'm not your enemy. Like, I don't want to hurt you. And it's going to be this big emotional battle. And if that truly is the route they're going, I think that is very exciting. I thought it worked in Batman vs. Superman, but I kind of like the flip-flop where they start off as friends and end as enemies. It just makes the stakes higher, and it makes it feel a lot more dramatic and more Shakespearean, if you will. And I think that Lex Luthor is such a compelling character because, again, is he really a bad guy? I mean, yeah, he literally told his team to kill a bunch of innocent people because they chose Superman over him, yes. But he was already so far down the rabbit hole of wanting to kill Superman that he was kind of blinded by that rage and that envy. But really, if you take it back to its origin, he's afraid of Superman. He thinks at the drop of a dime, Superman could just turn and wipe out the entire population, and Lex just wants to be the person that people love. And I think that is going to make this Man of Tomorrow sequel to Superman film really, really compelling. I do still hope that Supergirl is in it, teamed up with them to some capacity, because from everything I'm hearing, she's remarkable in her Supergirl standalone movie. And it makes sense because James Gunn did say that it was a Superman family sequel, and well, last I checked, Lex Luthor isn't his family unless he's gonna change canon or something and you learn that somehow he is, but I doubt he's going to do that. But I do still hope we get Supergirl in it, and I hope that it also gives us the chance to meet new DC characters within this world. Will we meet Batman in it? Will we meet the Flash in it? Will we meet Aquaman in it? If the stakes are that high where someone like a Doomsday or a Brainiac or General Zod comes down and threatens to wipe out the planet, I refuse to believe that in a world that James Gunn himself said all these these superheroes already exist in it, they wouldn't just stand by and watch that happen. So it kind of makes a great reason for us to meet maybe the King of Atlantis. He's like, all right, the planet's about to be destroyed. I need to go to the surface and help these people to stop this enemy. I don't know. I just think that it's really cool, and it has a lot of potential to introduce us to the bigger world of DC. But what say you guys? Do you think that this is a good idea, having them team up only to turn enemies towards the end of this film? Or do you think it's going to be more like Batman vs. Superman, where the whole movie is them just fighting each other? We did get glimpses of the comic accurate battle armor that Lex Luthor dons to fight Superman, and I think that that's amazing. I'm so glad that we're going to get to see that. Who do you think the villain's going to be? Do you think it's going to be another General Zod? I mean, kind of played out by now, but he is iconic, kind of like how Batman always needs the Joker. I personally hope that it's Brainiac. I've wanted to see Brainiac for like the last 15 years, and James Gunn seems perfect to bring that crazy, quirky character to life. Or do you think it might be Doomsday again? What say you? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to discuss different theories. Part of the big thing about being a comic book fan, there's always 1,000,001 theories that we're going to theorize on. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. And as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time.